Give me that one.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Brenda, as well. But hello, everyone. Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to our Crystal Palace preview for you guys. Of course, we will be talking Crystal Palace preview. Of course, we'll also be speaking Real Madrid preview, Real Madrid game as well. And of course, we will be mentioning the odd injury news and so on as well. Good appearance from there, Brenda, as well.
Yeah, sorry that.
That we don't condemn that. But
No, she's done it better than me. Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, of course. But obviously, I am joined by a very special guest, Jack, from Anfield Road TV. Jack, how are we? Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day, mate.
Still haven't recovered since the Champions League game, mate. I'm absolutely fuming still. Like all of us, mate. Like I can and I can't. Like we all envisioned Liverpool to obviously concede, but not 5 goals. I still, well, I say I don't know how it happens. I think we all do, but we'll speak about that, mate. But a
I,
massive
th- I
thank you
think
for having me on, mate. And
I think we
yeah,
all do, but it's just like how did it happen? I think that's the
I
thing.
think everyone like this weekend chat let us know how have you been, like in your mood in terms of being to work or college or uni or whatnot, around the house. Have you just like blanked everyone? Because I think I have really. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As well, and guys, let us know your thoughts as well in the comment section down below. But I want to quickly start off the show as well on a little bit of a sad note. Of course, if you guys have not seen on social media, at least obviously Stephen Featley, that we've done plenty of previews with Liverpool and Arsenal. I've been on his channel, he's been on here as well. You guys will know as well. Sadly, obviously news has come out about his health. And of course, we here wish him well, and of course his family well as well. And hopefully, the best thing will happen. But of course, it is sad news at the present moment in time. He has been on our channel. He's been on. I've been on his as well. We've spoken many times, obviously, over the last couple of seasons. We've spoken on Formula One as well. So again, it's very very sad news as well, and our thoughts are with him and his family as well. So again, hopefully he will be okay in that aspect as well. Anyway, so guys, please love heart emojis in the chat and so on, and you never walk alone as well to Stephen's family as well at this time as well. But Jack, we'll move on then to, of course, Real Madrid, and like we were talking about as well. Obviously, I think all of us have kind of recovered a little bit from the Madrid game and what was an absolute amazing first half that turned into one of the worst 45 minutes in in Jurgen Klopp's era at Liverpool. Um, how have you digest? Can I say that word correctly?
Digested it.
Yeah,
Digested it all.
digested it. Well, how have you dealt with it over what's it been Tuesday evening? Now we're on Friday evening. How have you felt since the game? Mega fuming.
Was it the third or the fourth goal? It's when Benzema just dribbles with the ball. Him and Vinny just do a little 1-2 outside our own penalty area.
Yeah.
You've got the Ballon d'Or winner from last year just running, not running, strolling through our back line and all our centre halves and even Ali. Like they're all like, "Go ahead, fella, just have a crack." And yeah, it was. I know people will obviously having a go at Jamie Carragher in relation to his comments, and obviously people call him a blue nose and everything really, but it was good and like it was. I don't know how you feel, Con or chat. Let us know in terms of the comments a couple of weeks ago when Van Dijk very much single-handedly called out Carragher, saying that he wouldn't get ahead of obviously any of the Liverpool centre halves, which is probably, if they're all on form, probably is right. But I felt that was massively disrespectful to a fella that's played over 700 odd bloody games for Liverpool Football Club, and he's won so many high honours, and he's held in such high regard. Obviously, it might have been chalk and cheese and really instead of a bit of banter, really. But it looks like Van Dijk and Carragher are very much probably for the next.
Banging heads at the minute.
They're going to be banging heads. There's going to be comments flying. It's not going to be great, but I suppose if you're in the media, as Jay is, and in terms of any media presenter or whatnot, all your comments will eventually come round full circle in reality and bite it on the backside. So yeah, but it was just that third goal, mate. That like, the third or fourth one, but mainly the third one as well, mate. The zonal mark, like the lack of just one or two players just picking up the two players on the edge of the box and all that. It's very much schoolboy error, and like obviously, and Jurgen said it the best after the post match, like you're gonna get punished. Whoever in Champions League football, if you defend like that, but there's one team in the whole bloody planet Earth that will punish you in Champions League. It's the 14 times Champions League winners. Real Madrid, in all honesty, mate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I said it on my match reaction. I think like against any other team in Europe, I think Liverpool get away with that, or get away with at least that. That first half where Liverpool, let's be honest, that's probably one of the best 45 minutes we've seen from a Liverpool side, and everything, and we looked like Liverpool of old, in some sense. Look, we wasn't, perfect, and don't get me wrong, we wasn't, Liverpool-esque like we have done over the last couple of years, but there were signs there, and I think that just completely emptied the tank out in the second half. And quite clearly, as we've seen, and like I said on the post match, there's no other team in Europe can do that. We've seen Man City come to Anfield, they're 2-0 down. We battered them 3-0, and they didn't look like they were going to score at all in that game. Madrid 2-0 down, didn't look. They wasn't phased. They were like, we'll come back, and we'll hopefully come back and equalise. But again, that's not halfway back.
I said to you in the week build up and as well, chat as well, when we've all done our videos, we're fully aware that Liverpool very much have played in quite a large portion of phases within games this season. Very patchy. We had like not a large period against Fulham at the beginning and end of the season, but there was obviously the Diaz hitting the crossbar, and there was moments within every single, obviously, defeat or every single drop points this year, whether that be in the Premier League or obviously the Champions League this week. It's not good enough, really, in all honesty. The staggering, which statistic is, I don't know if you've got it, Con, tonight, but I'll try and get it up, or if you haven't seen it, chat, obviously the overall save percentage of goalkeepers. I don't know if it's in Europe or it's either in Europe or it's in the Premier League. Alisson is ranked numero uno as expected. And that just goes to show, like, fair enough if Liverpool, like we are currently, fighting for like 7th to 10th spot anyway, you do wonder to yourself, Con, and chat, where Liverpool would be, in all honesty, if we didn't have Virgil, not Virgil, but like Christ, he'd probably do even worse a job in goal, Alisson Becker in between the sticks. Because the back end of last season, we all watched those games for like the last 3-4 month period. He was, I suppose, and that cliche catchphrase, you don't win anything with a half decent goalkeeper. He's there to do his job, but he should be the last called upon reliant person within a transition of play.
Yeah, I think I said it to you, didn't I? That I think Alisson this season has made 78 saves this season, which I think throughout. I think the whole of last season, I think he had to make like 50 odds saves, and that's all full competitions that he was in. And you look at that, and it's like, and it goes to and we're talking about rebuild in the summer, and we're talking about a few odds and ends, and I think Carragher was right in the week, and I think a couple of people have said in the chat as well. Liverpool don't not only need midfielders, they need a centre half in the summer as well, because one of Matip or Gomez is going. That's been a focal point.
I'd say even 2 fleets. And when we're talking centre half, chat and Con, we need world class established centre halves that will come into, and that's when you look at it, and chat. We're looking at probably like the 5% margin, like in terms of the world of talent of football.
I think you're talking world
Yeah.
transfer record fee.
Yeah,
or something
0.5. Yeah, 100%. Obviously, everyone's mentioned Gavardo. I don't even know who mentioned him tonight, mate.
Yeah.
But obviously, me and Con watched him. Don't know if you watched the Leipzig game against Manchester City. And obviously, I covered all the World Cup games in relation to Croatia. 20 odd years old, left footed centre half. He's been on record as saying in the press over the last couple of years he's a massive Liverpool fan in relation to his just mainly because of his dad as well. I know he said stuff about Real Madrid, but so Real Madrid fans, there you go.
Everyone's a Real Madrid fan.
But yeah, everyone, even me ma, especially after this weekend. But yeah. It's that, mate, and we'll mention obviously the comments Jürgen said in the press conference, but yeah, it ties in as we mentioned before.
Yeah, no.
Before I die, yeah. Sorry, cheers.
Yeah, no, but no, it is that sense of where we talk about the rebuild, and it's more Liverpool aren't a quick fix. It's easy enough for us to go. Yeah, sound. We'll sign two world class quality midfielders, and Liverpool are back. No, that's not the case. At the end of the day, our core is rotten, and it needs fixing, and it will be a minimum of two summer signings, two summer windows. Sorry, for Liverpool to get back to that. Now, obviously, I know with Garvidal as well. I think RB Leipzig have said that they're not willing to sell him for I think less than 90 million quid, something like that. So
they come out this week, didn't they? In terms of everyone was like the presidents or whoever it was, hierarchy at Leipzig, sorry, in terms of very adamant and quite rightly so, mate. Obviously, if Chelsea is sniffing around like they were last window, the club's got to come out with a strong statement. Like they don't want to be selling the top talent, but obviously Liverpool's good relationship that we have with the RB whole sphere in terms of all the clubs, the Red Bull. So it's going to be interesting, mate. 100%.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. Well, let's get into your comments then, guys, as well. Of course, we don't really want to talk too much about Real Madrid because, again...
get that off.
Yeah, this image is, again, that it was horrible, wasn't it, the other night as well. And again, look, at the end of the day, I think if there is any other team in Europe that can get out of the pit hole that we're in at the Bernabeu, it's Liverpool that could do it. But look, realistically, Liverpool aren't getting through to the next round of the Champions League.
If we go through, that would be Liverpool's greatest ever European night. Because to go to the Kings of Europe, away from home, not concede a bloody goal.
We'll go to the Bernabeu and win 4-0, technically. Like, that's outrageous.
Not happening.
Yeah, again, I don't think Madrid will do a Barcelona in that regard. Anyway, but let's get to your comments then, guys. Of course, we're going to talk then about, of course, taking a look, of course, to Palace as well. Because, again, Palace are a very, very good side and a very young side as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Let me quickly go back up as well. Obviously, Brian with the heart emojis. Thank you for that chat. It's always a hard game, but to go 2-0 up as well, says Mark. Yeah, it was. It was a kick in the teeth, wasn't it? To be fair, Jack looks like he's just woke up. Has it hit you that hard, Jack?
I've had a busy day today, Mark. Yeah. Like probably you yourself, mate. But yeah, as I said, the intro. I don't think any of us have probably recovered after that. Crash of a performance from Liverpool Football Club.
let's just say that Jack nearly got hit by a handbag earlier on.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
We'll save that for another podcast. Yeah, probably like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah.
It was so soul destroying as well. Yeah, absolutely. Gomez was awful.
Putting it mildly, Gary. Big up, Gary.
Yeah. To say he was shite, wasn't he? It wasn't just awful. He was gobshite against Real Madrid. And again, I never want to see him in a Liverpool kit ever again. But again, that's a whole different conversation because again, like we talked about, there's a conversation at the minute with Matip, Gomez, which one of them two are going in the
It's
summer. It's
me and you've done shows, Con. You've all watched them over the last 12 months. I think the main thing for me, mate, just if Liverpool signing players, great. Firstly, we need to keep all of our players fit. I'd be spending 100 million on the bloody doctors at the
medical
football
department.
club and the physios and the infrastructure, really, making sure that you've got a very much a strong infrastructure and a strong underbelly in terms of all your medical department that they actually know what they're bloody doing. Because we spent the whole of this season firing or letting people go and then replacing them. And then the fellow that's replaced him, he's left. And then they've got someone out from the back room and then went, yeah, you can do that job there. Like, we strive so much over the last couple of years in chat of having the best in the business, like in terms of trying to get the competitive edge. I think that's where Liverpool massively dropped off over the last 12 months is teams have caught up. Now Liverpool need to either reevaluate in terms of from a tactical approach, in terms of the philosophy in the club, not in terms of like obviously play, but I mean in terms of the recruitment or certain different elements where they probably were weak in certain areas, and obviously building those foundations up to a bigger level and trying to get a bit more of an advantage in certain areas.
Yeah, we've never really recovered, have we, since COVID? With the recruitment staff, not recruitment staff, sorry, the medical department. Of course, if you guys don't know, of course, that was the one department that got torn to shreds during the COVID era because, quote, FSG were trying to find money to recruit during that time. And yet the medical department got half of it got shipped out towards FIFA and UEFA, and the other half got sacked. And of course, then we're just trying to do a catch up game then to everyone else in that regard.
Even back when you had Sturridge as well, mate. Christ, like it literally took until like the last season, like that the Europa League final. That season, we seem to have like actually finally managed to know how to get the best out of it. Obviously, that's not Jurgen Klopp, obviously, but like previous managers, and that stems still back to the. Because I bet, after that, we're not a fly in the wall. We don't know all the things, but I bet there's certain people and certain roles within the club that have been there for quite a while. But we'll find out. Because I just don't want to sign and Gavadar or whoever, for example, for like 60, 80 odd million next summer, and then he's injured, doesn't happy for like 3 years on the bounce, and he's it's like 60 million down the bloody Swanee.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only other one I think that could potentially come in as well as maybe Antonio Silva from Benfica. I think that he's been spoken about as well. But again, even with him, I think you're looking around 50, 60 million. And again, it's not, he's got a lot of potential, but he's not the full, product yet. Because again, he's only, I think, 19, 20. I think Antonio Silva from Benfica. So again, we'll know in a couple of weeks anyway. But Bellingham only wants to sign for Klopp, but he's not the answer. We have 2 players for that price as well. We need 4 or 5, isn't it? Yeah. I think Thierry Henry mentioned a good point today about the club, or I think yesterday as well, where he was like, and he was speaking about the owners and he was speaking about Klopp, and it was like, FSG don't need to give Klopp an apology right now. It's what happens over the next 6 months that will be, the telling point with it, and that's where they'll either let Klopp down completely or not. And again, he goes more. I've only seen a little bit of it. He goes in a lot more detail as well, but I think that's the overall sense of this 6 month period is probably the biggest in Jurgen Klopp's time at Liverpool at the moment in terms of people leaving the club, contract extensions,
heavily reliant on bloody the
Champions
investment
League.
though, Con, innit?
Yeah, Champions
like
League.
The big word is investment, and as much as we all don't like, obviously, we're not saying you want to be spending. I don't think any fan out there from around the world, like,
We don't
we
want
just,
endless
yeah,
amount of
we don't want
money.
to be like, we're not screaming on the bloody rooftop saying, 100 million every single signing. What we're wanting is reinforcements in the right areas as well, in terms of like your 30s. Go back to what we were doing very well. I understand the market and the value within the market currently is bloody off the scales and it's difficult. But at the end of the day, if your squad is so weak as we currently are, we're all football fans. We're all massive Liverpool fans. We're not sitting there with our blinkers or like glasses on and rose tinted glasses and saying, "Oh," and Jürgen said today in his press conference today, didn't he? He knows himself. Like, he's not stupid. Like, it's going to be a gradual process, and all of us were very patient enough. Every single Liverpool fan around the world is. But it's that notion of, if the investment doesn't come, as you said there, Con, then question marks will eventually, it's either going to be Jurgen Klopp that takes a lot of the flack, or it's going to be the owners. And then it's just going to be like that battle every single bloody week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's the telling point, isn't it? Where I think at the moment, I think them coming out a day after a day before, sorry, the Champions League game against Real Madrid wasn't the best time, because again, the it feels like again, it's not necessarily in the grounds, but again, there's people on about that as well. It feels like just online Liverpool supporters at the moment are very much divided, just basis of again, the sale, the investment. Like, whenever you mention anything to do with FSG investment or the sale of the club, again, you have a pile of fans this side, a pile of fans that side. But
in the ground as well, though, mate. Like,
yeah,
I've spoke to plenty of people this season when I've gone the game. The lads, my mates, that go to quite a large majority of the away games as well, and obviously,
it's a conversation, but I feel like it's a lot less toxic in the ground than it is.
Yeah, well, social media, and it makes like for any like gaming or like reading and all that. But it's obviously, that's the beauty of YouTube. A lot of people have made amazing channels where they can discuss and communicate. I understand people's views on Twitter, but I think there's two different things.
Majority of them.
You don't get enough characters on Twitter to actually try and explain. It's why YouTube as a medium, and obviously Facebook and other platforms are good, because if you do a video, you can try and as much as you possibly can to explain, and then obviously debate with the comment section, as we're doing tonight as well, and you can engage.
Yeah,
but
no, absolutely. Anton, anyway,
hey, go on, man.
I'd love Matt to be Leicester, send Gomez to Forest. They deserve to suffer as well. And if you want to take Joe Gomez, you're more than happy to. Just 30 or 40 million pounds. Thank you very much.
Like, he does my head in, Joe Gomez, because you. Oh no, love Ant, love you, lad. You know me.
I'm joking.
Even though he might beat me on FIFA.
Oh no.
Very false. But Gomez, because you know me, I've been probably, when he signed that contract a couple of months ago. Chat, let us know your thoughts on Gomez as a whole. Like, prior to obviously this game, obviously it's fresh in your minds, everyone. But I think a lot of people before that game that I've spoke to were not 100% sold on Joe Gomez, and I was willing to give him an opportunity, but at the end of the day, like Loris Karius, like certain players of the football club that have had their opportunities, there's only certain amount of poor performances, and especially in the magnitude and the level and the standard of the game. Like, say if Gomez has another shocker next season in the Champions League, and we do get it, and we get all the way to the semi-final, and he puts in a performance like that, it's make or break. Like, there's no room for, of course, you got to have sentiments and all that, but when you get to that elite level, like we did on Wednesday night or this week, it's just you need to be putting performances in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for me, the The one thing that's a little bit a little bit annoying is when I think when Ibu came into the club, we were like, right, we've got our two centre halves now for the next, for the next 5 6 years. When Virgil van Dijk isn't around, you've got Gomez and Ibu, and obviously Ibu's had his injury problems as of late. Um, and for me, I think me and you, we were at the preseason game against Strasbourg, and Joe Gomez was all over the place. All right, fair enough. It was a friendly. It was, we put out a very weakened team, but there was no sense of like control with Joe
But
Gomez.
that's all. Would you say, and chat mainly chat as well in Yukon? Is that always been there with Joe Gomez though? I think even
I
when
don't
you
think it
do
has.
watch, and the player I'd mention, and you should instantly go, he played centre half against Atletico Madrid, didn't he? A couple of years ago, Gomez with Adrian
Yeah,
in goal.
yeah,
The
yeah.
communication aspect, and that's where they're mentioning the elite level.
Mm.
Like Gomez, it's like we've had that with centre halves in the
I
club.
think
Like
I think
I,
Leeds is the perfect example
yeah,
where he does not look. He does it and then looks like the goal that we first conceded, where he passed it back to Ali, no one's there, and that he's done that quite. I think someone made a compilation of that's a common thing with Joe Gomez. Is he
mm,
passes and then looks? He doesn't look and then pass like what Ibu does or what Virgil does, and that's cost us points at the end of the day. It's
mm,
cost us a result. Um, I think for me, one of the big thing and one of the big problems with Joe Gomez, and I want to know your thoughts and with chats. Well, since his last big injury, he hasn't looked anything like what he did before. Like that 2018-19 season
mm.
or 1920, where him and Virgil had that partnership where I think they conceded 6 goals in like 25
That
games,
was
something like
magical.
that. Like it was
Yeah.
mental. And that's the Joe Gomez that I thought we might have had for the next, 4 5 6 years. But for me, like, if you were to go right now, right, you've got two options: let go of Joel Matip next season to try and get a bit of money with him. Of course, he'll be in his last year of his deal next year, or try and sell Joe Gomez. For me, it'd be 100% get rid of Joe Gomez. Out of the two, even though I'm not that confident in
Mm.
Joel Matip this season, I'd much rather keep Joel Matip, Joel Matip as a fourth choice than
Yeah.
I would Joe Gomez, in my opinion.
And keep on getting your comments in. You're all smashing it. Like it's what Ryan said there. If he wasn't homegrown, I think that's the thing with quite a lot of this Liverpool team currently. We're all looking at it going, he's homegrown. We've got to keep him in the squad. Especially, we all know the midfielders that potentially, well, that are leaving come at the end of the season. Are we going to be looking at a situation where we're asking kids, like 18, 20-year-old kids, to come in and step in to a senior spot? And we're going to be 12 months down the line and reevaluating the same things over and over again. We've all got confidence in our young lads, but I don't want to be sat here in 12 months' time where RB Elliott's picked up another massive injury just due to the sheer magnitude of how many minutes he's played. Trent has been ran into a brick wall, and it's only going to be a matter of time when
He
Trent
hits the
hits,
barrier.
like when he hits the barrier or hits the sports science red zone. He's probably in the red zone at the minute, and we're very fortunate because Christ, we haven't even got a right back. We've got
Oh no,
Calvin
Calvin
Ramsey,
Ramsey's out
who's
injured.
done his legs and all that, and then you're looking at potentially the man that we've just been talking about, Gomez filling it right back. Oh Lord, behold! Imagine if James Milner. We all love James, but imagine if he was playing against Real Madrid down that right hand side at Anfield a couple of nights ago.
Oh,
Jesus, would have been about a cricket score.
yeah,
Vinny would have sent him all the way back to 1995 or something when he played for Leeds. Like it would have been mad.
yeah, no, it would have been, and that's the problem, though, isn't it? Is the fact that we mentioned it in the midfield as well, where you've just mentioned it as well, where we've had to rely on the youth. Like Harvey Elliott, I think has played in every single game this season, or he's been a
Hmm.
part of every single game this year. And when people, I think, even after the Madrid game, was blaming Trent for a few things. Yeah, sure, you can have a go at Trent in that game in particular, but in my opinion, I think Trent has, since the World Cup, as being one of Liverpool's better players. I think you need to look at more different people. Like even I love Virgil van Dijk, but
Oh,
something's
yeah.
been we've all said with Virgil van Dijk, oh he's waiting for the World Cup, he's
It's
waiting
the
for this,
World
waiting for that.
Cup, everyone.
Yeah, it's the World Cup that he's waiting for. Come back, he does not look like Virgil van Dijk of old. And even last season, Virgil van Dijk come back from a serious knee injury and played every single minute of last season in a
Mm.
quadruple chasing year, which of course, as Jurgen has mentioned in previous times, there, look, it's caught up to Liverpool, but we've said that now for the first 6-7 months of the season. That can't be an excuse now. We
Yeah.
can't. Like we're halfway through the season. We're past that now. So what's wrong at Liverpool? And again, it's more player based because you look at that second half. Fabinho, I don't even get on Fabinho because Fabinho, for me,
Mm.
he is so done at Liverpool Football Club in terms of
It's
being the
mad.
number one DM because
Yeah.
like that. I think that goal that you were saying, like Vinny and Benzema, juggling around, Liverpool's box. If Fabinho just takes out Modric like you're supposed to do, he's not on a yellow card, by the way. Just
Mm.
takes him out. You stop that counter attack, and you have a hope going back to the
And
Bernabeu
and
again.
is it and the reason you're spot on there, mate. The one thing that does my head in is we're watching a Casemiro, and don't get me wrong, Casemiro is a million trillion miles ahead of Fabinho. I'm not comparing them, but Casemiro's won everything in world football. He's levels above Fabinho, but in terms of I don't know, are they at similar ages? 29, I think Fabinho, they're at
I think
similar
Fabinho's a
ages.
year younger.
Or,
I think
or a
he's a
year
year
young,
younger than he.
a year. But even if he's a year younger, mate, like yes, we've spoke about the amount of minutes, but even Casemiro's played at the heart of Real Madrid's midfield for the last since he's been there. In all honesty, obviously post Xavi Alonso when he left. So it's madness, mate. In all honesty, it all comes down to psychologically, mate. In terms of you mentioned with Van Dijk, we all watched that second half. They're all half-arsed tackles. Like, can you even? And of course, the atmosphere played a part, but even still, you need to get the crowd on song. You need to do something on the football pitch. Like it was 2-2. Like the game wasn't done. It was back level all each, but it was this Jurgen's turns us all from doubters to believers, and then looks like even the players are even doubting which is quite concerning. In all honesty, like, but that's probably another podcast for another night, mate. In all honesty, but it's there's a lot of issues that we know,
There's a lot
but
of stuff that we can go a bit more further on.
yeah.
But again, that would be a whole night podcast anyway. Hello, Luke, as well as in year calls. As well, where's my invite? I thought you were busy. I'm not gonna lie to
I
you,
can
Luke.
send him one now,
Yeah.
lad, but it looks going to be one of them chats as well. He says, "Oh, where's my invite?" He's probably sat there with some chocolate, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, nom, 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 nom."
I guarantee,
And
I
you're like,
guarantee Luke's got
Luke,
popcorn.
popcorn. What are we saying? Chat. That's on what Luke's on. Yeah. Hopefully,
Luke, let us know. Because
yeah.
I've just seen your other comment as well.
Yeah, Luke. Hello, Rebecca. I hope you've cooked for Rebecca there, Luke, as well. As well. There you
Yeah,
go.
Luke,
Yeah.
Luke. If you, Rebecca, if he's slacking, just give him,
Yeah.
give him a tell
Yeah.
as well. He's gonna hate us for this later on anyway. But what else? What else we have?
There'll be that.
One will go 4-4-2 tomorrow evening as well. I can't talk about that in a minute. None of this team is firing on all cylinders. Absolutely, no Pickford. Accelerated in his decline. Did Pickford even have a good period as well? Obviously, perhaps it as well. Lads, we have, however, in the big screen, Rebecca just asked, why do you support Liverpool? It's for the pain, it's for the heartache, it's for practically our weekends and midweeks getting absolutely destroyed as of late this season as well. But we love the club, and again, it's horrible at the moment, isn't it? That Benzema goal when he goes round Alisson shows Van Dijk ain't in it anymore last season. He would have defended that properly. Again, similar to Man United, wasn't it? When Sancho scored at Old Trafford, it was
Yeah.
the exact same. in that regard. Pretty much, I just told her, "Have you heard Jack as well?"
Oi.
What else do we have? I'm actually spending the night with my wife tonight, though. Good. Like, what else is it to do? Just
So
get
nice.
on the
He's
place.
been playing cold with the boys, hasn't he? So
True.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
true. Pretty much, I told her, "Have you heard Jack as well?" Absolutely.
What is
Looks
this?
like a lad as well.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Where's Ricky, by the way, Luke? As well.
Has he gone? Is he gone into hiding? I wonder if he's gone into hiding.
Ricky, he'll appear now.
You'll just see the eyes it will be eyes emojis, hashtag FSG out, guarantee it. Give it 5 minutes.
Yeah.
When you're struggling for fourth place, expect more inconsistency. We've been at it all season as well. Yeah, absolutely. As well, but we will move on then, and we'll actually get and talk about of course, Crystal Palace. Of course, Jurgen had full of praise of Palace today. Of course, he is obviously a huge fan of Eze. Is that how you pronounce his name? Eze?
Yeah, Eze. Elise as well.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Elise.
He's massively appreciated of them as well. But taking a look anyway of the latest games between Palace and Liverpool, of course, the 1-1 draw at Anfield, where of course Darwin Núñez made his Anfield debut and also got sent off, which was brilliant. Joking. Of course, beat him 2-0 as well at Anfield, 3-1 last time out at Selhurst Park as well. Of course, I think Diogo Jota winning Liverpool a penalty late on. That, of course, I think Mohamed Salah put away, I think, as well. So, again, Liverpool have a pretty good record against Palace, of course. But again, the last two games in particular have been. I've just seen. I've just seen the comment. The last two games, of course, have been against. Well, the last game was against Patrick Vieira, but the other games were against Roy Hodgson, of course. And you have just seen.
Yeah, of course.
Ricky cries at night when he finds out MSG.
Yeah, Rebecca. I don't know if Luke told you we got like Ricky a little water bottle. So next time you see him when he comes round, just ask him about the FSG water bottle we got him. Didn't really, but we'll get him.
We should get him. Do you know those? Those like inflatable faces that you can get? Yeah.
What is it like the? What is it the? Hasbulla. Like we get him like a little like. We get Ricky like a little Hasbulla with like John Henry and like Julian Ward in the background or something.
Either that or get I Love FSG t-shirts printed for him. I think that's what we got it to.
Yeah. Big, massive FSG's number one.
Yeah, absolutely. Phillips and Kabak, Jesus Christ, wasn't Kabak. That's a throwback. Conceded 3 to Madrid over 2 ties. Then you get Virgil van Dijk and Gomez conceding 5 in one game. God damn it, as well. Yeah, that is true as well. Good times, isn't it? Absolutely good times. Oh lads, let's all chip in. I'm down. Get Ricky his FSG. To be fair, get him a blanket so you can just cuddle up to it in the nice.
Sorry, it sounds like Ricky's paid for that bloody imaginary plane that's meant to be flying over like Liverpool. So
yeah.
Oh no, it's over Selhurst. So yeah.
Is it over Selhurst or over Anfield?
Yeah. Well, we're away this week, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we are away.
Because I was just recalculating. I was actually at that game, chat, and probably one of the most bizarre things I've seen at Anfield, apart from Liverpool defending quite poor this season, was it happened quite quick in the stands, and everyone's like, "What the?" Everyone got out the bloody Sky Sports app on the phone and went, like, literally looked at it. Everyone was like looking over everyone's shoulder and that. It's like, what has he done that for?
Yeah, that was...
even if he's done it like button properly, it was just a
like a push, wasn't it? It was like a lean.
It's like a little pingu.
I think what he tried to do was like, do you like when like you rest your head on someone else's head? I think that's what he tried to do, and then just didn't.
What, like on your pillow?
Whatever you get up to with your pillow, I don't want.
Oh Jesus! We're not even past the watershed, Connor. So we got to still got another 18 minutes.
It's past 9 o'clock.
There goes your monetization, there, boy.
There we go. Well, whatever you get up to with your pillows, I don't want to know, chat.
No comment.
Yeah,
Not if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
yeah.
Cue
We
Jose Mourinho.
Luke said my name is Ricky and I have a top red FSG's biggest fan. Absolutely. Uh,
Ricky, type L in the chat if it's you.
just held hostage, like yeah, just press one if you're here anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, of course, yeah. Gary says Nunes 2-2 now, which I think when we actually think about it,
Bloody on fire.
the fact that Darwin Nunes has been pretty much on it as of late, the chaos has been there. He scored 2-2, and we look to the partnership between Gakpo and Nunes seems to be getting there now, which I think is a good thing. But it's the worry for me is, and I think Jurgen mentioned it a little bit, with the fact they're going to have to rotate in a moment with obviously games coming up, midweek as well. Do you think that there might be a bit of change, Jack, or do you think that front three will stay the front three for at least Palace away? Because I think I think the only one, in my opinion, that could potentially come in is maybe Jota.
So we got 4 games before the Real chat. Before the Real
we've
game.
got. Yeah, let me quickly get this. I will check.
I think we literally got like 3 or 4 games before Real. So like,
I'll quickly get on. I'll get it on the screen right now. Anyway, yeah, we've got Crystal Palace
it is
on Saturday. I thought, where's he to? There he is. Hello, Ricky. Yeah, we've got Crystal.
Speak of the devil, and you shall appear. There you go.
I told you the eyes emoji. Yeah, we've got Crystal Palace away, of course, at 7:45.
Yeah, nice one there,
time. Of course, Wolves at home, United at home, Bournemouth away, and then of course Real Madrid away as well. Anyway, but it's the fact that for me, out of them, I think obviously Palace, I was going to say Wolves, it's not necessarily an easy game because, again, we lost to them 3-0.
Oh, we've been slapped by them over the last couple of weeks. So
yeah, exactly. But the only advantage is that it's at Anfield, if that's any advantage nowadays. But it's the fact that we've got Man United as well coming up. And, of course, they're probably the most informed team at the moment in the league.
Yeah.
Rotation is going to be needed. But like I said, will it be against this game, or could you see potentially mass change against Wolves potentially, with it being at home as well?
I'd say if I was a manager, but we'd be getting absolutely battered 10-0 by Real Madrid at home if I was a manager. So, and half of Twitter as well. Even you, Connor. I'd say keep them in form. I'd say play Salah. Unless Salah's absolutely gone out here in terms of his energy, but Salah wouldn't want to be getting dropped anyway in relation to that. But yeah, I'd go with stay as it is because I don't want to be rushing. And we've already mentioned this chat, haven't we, in terms of Canate. Give Jota possibly another week or 2 weeks to train, and then when he's back up to the full swing of things, similar with Bobby as well, then potentially bring them in for obviously the other big games, but they're all going to be needed, as we know, even if we are doing something in the second leg against Real. But I think the main thing, Gone and chat, is momentum. That's what we want. Good momentum. The worst case scenario would be going in off the back of a couple of bad results into the Real Madrid game. But you just want to try as much as you possibly can to try and get some rhythm, momentum, and fundamentally some good football down first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we'd come away from that Madrid game and it had been 3-2, for example, or it had been 4-2 and it'd been a bit unlucky, I think we'd still feel quite positive. I think in that aspect of things, again, 2 wins in the league of late. I'll quickly get the league table as well. And of course, a week ago, the table didn't look so much in Liverpool's favour. But even with Wolves drawing at the moment, again, if I quickly bring up the league table, again, you're looking at if Liverpool were to beat Crystal Palace again, you're on 38 points with it, which would again when we're talking about Spurs, then we're only 4 points off with a game in hands. Which again, if we were to win against Wolves,
Yeah.
That would be so much look so much better for the league table. But again, it has to you have to beat Palace. If we don't beat Palace, I think a draw at the minimum is fine. But I think once again, it's that sense of if Liverpool don't go on to beat Palace or get anything from Palace, again, top four looks very much off the
Yeah.
cards yet again. In that anyway, but I want to quickly obviously thank Luke as well for being on as well in the comments. I'm going to shoot off, lads. I've got a lot of shows lined up next week, including George doing a special quiz on Tuesday night, so both welcome to
Yeah, come on, we'll share that on obviously our channels as well, boys. So chat if you're free Tuesday night. There's no Champions League football, so yeah, we'll all head over, mate, and look forward to it.
We'll definitely be on that. And of course, everyone, please check out that as well, and go over to the link as well, and please subscribe over to the 18 Red podcast as well. Night mark as well. Stay safe, everyone. Flash like button, come on, Reds, never walk alone as well. Anyway, but we'll move on then, and we'll get on to, of course, start 11 predictions. Obviously, I think plenty of people are dreading this on what we go for. But Jack, what would you go for against Crystal Palace?
Oh. Chat, get your teams in. Might need to save me. Nat Phillips. Play 11 Nat Phillips. I swear I've watched Palace a fair few times this season, and it's gonna bite me in the ass, and they've been absolutely shocking. And you know what's gonna happen this week? Mateta is legit one of the worst strikers I've seen in the Premier League for a very, very long time.
Don't
Mateta, that's freaking coming 3-0. There we go. But yeah, like obviously Ayew comes off the bench here and there, and obviously the main threat, as we mentioned, Elise. If Zaha if he's 100%
Zaha's he's a doubt for the game.
He is doubt.
I think minimum of bench would be. I think our maximum would be bench. I don't think, judging from what Palace fans we've got, I think going on about earlier, it's realistically 50-50 with Zaha.
Yeah, I watched a couple of Palace channels as well this season. It's trying to try and get the expectations off the back of last season as well, Con, in chat. When I've been watching the videos, it's obviously the expectations of playing so well, getting points off Manchester City, like to Tottenham as well, even us in the past and previous seasons also. So it's they're very much caught in a catch in between situation. Like obviously Conor Gallagher not joining on a full transfer from Chelsea, I think that was a massive miss. Because I think he was just one of those players that fits a coach's philosophy perfect. I don't know how you feel on Conor Gallagher with Vieira, mate, but
I think Conor Gallagher is one of these players that, for the tempo that Palace play, I think it's perfect for that. I think obviously a couple of people were even looking at for him at Liverpool potentially with him, but I think you look at Palace last year and you look at Palace this season as well. He is a massive miss for them, and I would think as well next season, I think Palace might go in for him.
Surely they have to go for him because Chelsea will need to offload. Well, you'd think they would, but
judging from Chelsea supporters, the midfield is their key development process over the next 12 months. Even though again, 600 million spent in 6 months, or 5 months, whatever.
Give another 2 weeks, it'll be 700 mil. Depends when the window opens.
But it's the sense of where, for me, and I think Klopp's mentioned as well, Eze is one for me that to keep a lookout for, because again, that's the thing where I think Liverpool at times in the Palace game will probably do better off if we do a little bit more counter attack football, because that's what Palace are good at. They're very good at counter attack. And obviously Liverpool at the minute can't defend a barn door when run at. So again, I think that's probably the best option for us. But again, I say this now, it would be a completely different game plan for tomorrow, and that as well. But yeah, what would you go for? I think Allison's quite obvious
Yeah,
as well.
go with Ali, Trent. It's not even fit. Like, if Canate's not fit, I want to see Nat given an opportunity. I come on. I think
Nat,
when I was at
Nat,
the ground, he come on the second half, didn't he? Oh, I think it was him and Gomez swapped over, didn't he?
yeah,
It's half time or after the 50th minute, 60th
I
minute
think I, th-
at
I think
Anfield.
Matip's fit. I think Nat Phillips is fit, but I don't think he's playing at the minute.
Yeah, well, you'd go with Van Dijk and Matip if they're both fit. Robbo down the left, mate. Bajcetic, one of our literally our best player in recent weeks. Can't swap him. Fabinho, I'd start Milner. Just give him an opportunity. I think you've got to rest Henderson because I think if you play him another 90 minutes or another high intense game, I think you very much run him into a brick wall, and then you go with the main three that I mentioned: Salah, Gakpo through the middle, and then Nunes on the left, mate.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Something similar to that as well. Obviously, for me, I think Ibu will be. I know Jurgen was a bit reluctant to mention Kanate and him potentially coming back. I think he will come back in. If I'm being honest, reportedly that he's had 3 sessions and he's been okay as of now. That for me, that would be my team. Obviously, Ali and goal, Trent, Canate, Virgil and Robbo, Fabinho, Henderson, Bajcetic, Salah, Nunes, and Gakpo. So obviously got Nunes in the middle, but obviously be on the left for that. And I think the only one you could potentially change is maybe, as you said, James Milner in there, because again, can't trust Harvey Elliott at the moment because again, with Palace, it's a very physical game, and Harvey Elliott in a midfield where it's like that, he gets beat too easily at times, as well. So again, James Milner in that regards, I'd even say, but potentially Naby, but again, if Naby's around, for that.
Now he doesn't even know what bloody day it is half the time when he's on the pitch.
No, exactly. But I think again, rotation won't happen in the Palace game. I think Wolves game though, I think we'll see about 4 or 5 changes. I think.
Yeah.
And again, depending on results, because again, if Liverpool lose badly, again, there won't be just 4 or 5. It might be 6 or 7. Considering
it's I think one of the lads mentioned in the comments. Is it Clark on loan Bolton? Or am I thinking? Yeah, Bobby Clark. Not Bobby Clark.
Yeah.
What? Bobby Clark. I think it is Bobby Clark. Probably wrong, but the lad that's on loan at Bolton obviously got to the final of the Papa John's final as well. Yeah. So Clark. I think I was looking at statistics this week. I think he's got about 5-6 goals or something in terms. I know it's like League One and all that, but in all honesty, he's 19 years old. He plays in a 3-back system at Bolton. Interestingly enough, obviously plays predominantly down that right hand side, so like a right midfielder anyway. So and it's a good positive, mate. This is what I want from my youth. In all honesty, I think I always do, just as well in terms of. I'd love to see Curtis Jones out in the like an established Premier League team, and he was guaranteed minutes where he can just try and relax a lot more. In honesty, I think the expectations of him being a scouser in a Liverpool team, it weighs on heavy of many of the local lads team in the Prem, even the Manchester lads, City lads as well. Foden.
Like a Phil Foden, no.
Like he's finding he still had a good season, but he's had like a little rocky road over the last couple of weeks, in all honesty. So it's everyone gets him, but as I said, I'd much rather them make the mistakes away from Liverpool, so that a lot of the limelight is off them. In all honesty,
no, absolutely. I think for me, I think a loan next season would be best for Curtis Jones. It's just what's the best club for him. I think at the moment, I think that's a difficult question because I don't think anyone knows what Curtis Jones' best position is on the football field.
I don't think Klopp even does now, mate. In chat, Like you've seen Jones play left wing, left mid, central midfield, even right wing in certain moments this season. Like he's been all over the gaff and all. Like, but that's what you need is you need to establish yourself, especially his age now, mate. And Chassie's at an age now where you'd expect to try and solidify a position really and just knuckle down. But of course,
we talk
the
about
rumours come out this week, didn't they, Con, about
him potentially going.
the PR machine that keeps on churning out utter nonsense.
Well, we talk about the likes of Jude Bellingham, Emmanuel Ugarte as well. They're both 19, 21 years of age, and like you mentioned there, Curtis Jones should be banging on the door. It shouldn't be a 18-year-old kid called Stefan Bajcetic to come in
and jump ahead of him 2 years behind him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, probably like 3 or 4 realistically. Considering where Curtis Jones has been in the first.
Is he 22, Jones?
Yeah, 21, 22.
How old's Jones? I think he's 21, 22. I'll have a quick look at him.
I think he's 21.
But even still, even if he is like 21, 22, like as he said there, miss, like you look at the creme de la creme in certain players, as you mentioned with Jude, like Kone, certain ages in Europe, they're established in their side already. And of course, they're generational talents, Jude Bellingham, and we're not at all comparing. Like Curtis Jones is 20 million steps behind Jude, but ideally that's as a football club or any football club, if you're bringing in your youth, you want to be trying to get them developing as much as you possibly can.
He is 22.
So that's even goes to show as well. He should be one of the first names on the team sheet.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
If he was playing well, like chat, if he was tuning in, not saying like now, as we know, but like 22, like he's should be at least a Premier League side or somewhere in Europe. Like you look at all the English players, Con, that have gone to the Eredivisie, like, and they thrived. There's Edwards at Sporting Lisbon, and there's so many. Like even the young Dutch lad that was at PSG. Obviously, he's applying his trade at PSV Eindhoven as well. Simon, and he was probably one of the most. He was the most highly rated 16-year-old on the planet at the time. I think it was him and Odegaard, wasn't it? But
I don't think Canate will be in Mata probably. This is one for you anyway, as well.
Oh.
Real Betis come back. They're 3-2 up right now.
So that Marcus in the mud.
I just see that they scored a 96th minute penalty, so doubt Canate will be there either. Again, I think it depends on whether or not Jurgen can trust. I don't think Joe Gomez starts in this game. I think it'll be Joel Matip, but again, does he have the confidence in Joel Matip, or would he prefer an 80% Ibu Kanate? Probably an 80% Ibu Kanate in that regard as well. But I was so sure Jones would have stepped up. Sadly disappointed, to be honest, as well. Again, he's been plagued with weird injuries, hasn't he? At the club, and again, like we mentioned, I don't think Liverpool know his best position.
It's matters. Yeah, I'd agree there, Raymond. I don't know how you feel, chat. Let us know, like if you could pick a player that you've not seen a lot of, but you've looked at and analysed over like the last 10-year period, and a player that you would have thought probably would have done a lot more better in terms of their career. Like because I went to quite a lot of the under-21 games as well when you were at Anfield, and it always used to be like the last 10 years, it was always you'd see the emergence of a young 16, 17-year-old. It was Ryan Kent and Harry Wilson, like at a similar age. Like those two players in themselves, I was always wondering what player would have had a better career, in all honesty. You'd probably say Wilson, because he's played more in the Premier League, but as I said, Ryan Kent's probably having a better season now over the last 12 months, 24 months. But it's Scotland now, isn't it?
It's like with I think even when you look at people like Ryan Brewster and Dominic Solanke, when they were at the club and when Liverpool were looking around for them, I think plenty of people were like, oh yeah, Liverpool are gonna they're going to develop them, and again, they could be the striker that Liverpool need. In that regard,
Sinclair and Ben Woodburn as well, mate.
Yeah.
Ben Woodburn, obviously the youngest goal scorer. Well, he was until obviously a couple of the lads. I don't know if he might be. I don't know if he still holds that record. Chat, you'll know. I think he might have potentially.
I think
been
appearance-wise, I don't think he does anymore. I think goal-scoring-wise.
Oh no, it's Kay Gordon. I think Kay Gordon.
Yeah,
I was going to say Kay Gordon beat him on that one. But yeah, just even Sami Diasio as well. We literally didn't see any of him. And if anyone's aware who the hell's we signed him. I think it was from Leverkusen or Werder Bremen. It's one of them. I think it was Leverkusen. As a youngster, off the back of when Sami Hyypiä was manager at Bayer Leverkusen a very long time ago, and he apparently told Liverpool to go and get him. One of the supposedly hottest prospects in European football. And similar, just had shocking injuries. Then he got to the age of 16, 17 and just never, the penny never really dropped, did it?
No, absolutely. Well, no, it didn't. Andrew's in his one, but I said this is world class. He'll be a part with the Spanish squad at some point. Also, Fulham drew with Wolves. Yeah, they did.
Good result for us, huh?
Yeah, massive for us to win tomorrow, 1 point behind Fulham. Again, it'd be brilliant if we could do that. I like Ryan Kent as well as his mark. I think a lot of us did, didn't we? But again, he didn't come through quick enough, did he? It's like what's his name again? Another place for Forest, Iwoni. Again,
Tyrone Awoniyi.
Yeah, Liverpool signed him, went out on loan 6 or 7 times, had a brilliant season with Union Berlin, and then of course went back out to Union Berlin, and then of course was sold for a record fee for.
And even Alan De Silva as well. We literally spent years, and I mean, we all remember him, years on him trying to get, obviously, his visa. But it just never happened. I think he's replying his trade now in the Brazilian league. He's gone back to, obviously, his native homeland anyway now. So
you look at Carvalho, Fabio Carvalho. I hope he isn't going to be a flop, because again, I still think he is one for the future for Liverpool. It's just the fact that, again, I think as many people have said, it's where's his best position? I think that he can play as a number 8. He can play on the left. He can play as a 10, which I think, as me and you have mentioned in numerous videos, where I think Liverpool might look more towards the 4-2-3-1 in time. And again, last season, him and Mitrovic completely destroyed the championship as a 10 and a 9. And I think that's the other thing where you have to find the best positions. Obviously, in a Jurgen Klopp system with 4-3-3, pressing in the midfield and so on, can Carvalho do that? Maybe not. But
if I was him, I'd be fuming, mate. I don't know how you feel, Chas. Would you, mate, if you were Carvalho? The fact that you're being given that opportunity at Fulham, same with Elliott, obviously. Obviously, we signed Elliott, loaned him out at Blackburn, got valuable experience in terms of his youth development. And obviously, we're seeing bare fruits of that over the last 12 months. Obviously, even with that. Yeah.
As well.
So, for me, and that goes to show, and that goes hand in hand with what we spoke about at the top of the show, Con, and just in terms of the recruitment elements, obviously bringing in world-class talent now, but obviously make sure that we do safeguard our future talent post that as well. The players that we have brought in for 5-6 million, at a youth level. Because, you look at City's development, Con, and just everyone lauds them, and quite rightly so, in terms of the recruitment, in terms of the big signings. But when you look at Manchester City's academy, it's absolutely second to none. It's world class, due to obviously the infrastructure and the resources, of course. Obviously, when you're speaking to 15, 14-year-olds, families, obviously enticing them to move to Manchester or move closer to Manchester City, and that's all part and parcel. That's a new show idea there, Con. Or anyone out there, it'd be interesting to see, obviously, the psychological rationale thinking of the recruitment of players that age as well. Was it Kylian Mbappe was on the books? I was speaking to Luke. He was on the book supposedly very close to joining Chelsea, and then Chelsea pulled the plug and not willing to give supposedly Mbappe's mum certain enticements or like money or like a house or whatever it was, and then he chose Monaco. So
you look at Wenger. The amount of signings he mentions that Arsenal were close to getting, it's unbelievable. The amount of people that he was almost going to get as well. But we'll head off soon, guys. Anyway, because I just luckily been going for an hour and 5 minutes. So thank you very much for everyone that tuned in as well. But before we do it off, score prediction for tomorrow from you, Jack.
You can go first.
No. Guess go first.
Oh, Jesus. Chat, you know, if you're watching me watch along, I watched it back. I was going, oh my God, is our luck changed at 2-0? And then 35 minutes later, cue the Benny Hill music playing in the background. Yeah. Oh God, no, the office meme. I'm gonna go. That wasn't my ass. Probably will be on tomorrow. I'm gonna go 1-0 Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark said always I think 2-1 is the best as well. I'm going 2-0 Liverpool. By the way, hopes and dreams. Klopp thinks that we're not a car crash. We just scrape the sides and keep on track as well.
The thing is, Eamon and chat, Conor, you're a fan of like motor vehicles and cars in general, aren't you? Yeah. Like Renault's supposedly, if you drive a Renault, supposedly they're one of the most secure cars, like for accidents or whatnot. So yeah, we must be driving a Renault. Let's
test it then, is it?
Yeah. I think the videos out there. Harvard videos and all that.
Harvard.
Oh, yes.
Let's get top hats and all.
You know what? No, I'm not gonna go 1-0 con and chat. I'm gonna go 3-1 to the Reds. Darwin to get a goal, Nunes to get a goal, and Salas will get a goal.
Like you thinking.
And a Gomez own goal every place.
Fuck off, lads. No. 1-1 for me, says Eamon as well. Jordan's going with 3-1 as well. I've gone 2-0 Liverpool. I think, look, we're going to be 1-0 up. We're going to struggle for the entire game, and then just one quick counter attack, 2-0. That job done. Freaking put James Milner at centre back in the sound.
And if Mateta has the game of his life, chat, you know what video to come back to. And I'd be disappointed if you saw, don't chat. Comment on this video going. Bit of false.
Yeah. Anyway, but guys, big thank you to all of you guys. Anyway, in the comment section down below, Mark, if you could please put in Jack's link in the comment section down below as well. Please head over to Anfield Road TV as well, which I'm guessing you'll be doing a watch along tomorrow.
Yes, I'll probably have me pre-match build-up show tomorrow early morning, chat, so just keep an eye on that. Obviously, I would have done it today, but I've had quite a lot of uni work to do, so that'll be out tomorrow early morning, and hopefully try and get Connor on if he's available. Obviously, a post-match. Depends how it goes. Nah, we'll do a post-match. We're nowhere
that bad. I won't see any of us.
That's right. If we can all do, if everyone on YouTube can do post-match reaction videos of the Real Madrid one, then we're all safe. Like we're all safe. Yeah. Like it couldn't have got. Well, Jesus. It couldn't get any worse to Real Madrid. Oh, I've dug myself an hole here. Jesus. What is it? It's going to be an afternoon.
Get him off before he ends up saying something even worse.
I swear to God, it's like 7-2 to Palace this weekend.
Don't be saying it. Don't curse us, please. Don't do a Ricky where he said 1-0 Burnley that 1 year and ended up.
What is it, Chad? If you missed that prime Ricky, it was when we had that shocking run where we had no centre halves. Ricky kept on going from the 1890 Reds podcast. 1-0 Liverpool loss, and it literally kept on happening for like 5-6 weeks on the bounce.
Yeah.
But yeah.
To be fair though, Ricky's hackers have come in the last couple of weeks, so maybe we should take more notice of Ricky.
We just need to play Porto, Chas. We played well against Porto in Europe. Sadly, we weren't
drawn against. Porto must feel every time they come up against against us in the Champions League.
Basically equivalent of us playing Real Madrid, but that was a bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mark putting Jackson again as well. Thank you.
Sorry, Jordan.
Thanks, everyone.
Sorry, chat. Oh, I'm getting it on Saturday on the watch along.
Jackson jinxing it as well. Yeah, absolutely. Shout him up now.
You just see me go through the camera. The camera disconnected. But yeah, massive thank you, Con, for having me on. And most importantly, everyone that tuned in tonight. Hope you had a great Friday night. It's always a good laugh, me and Con. Just trying to bring a bit of banter. Don't take it too serious and all that.
But... Just roll back and watch like the 2 minutes that we talked about a pillow. Just
don't.
Watch that and don't, but do at the same time.
That's where Connor lost all of his monetization. So.
Yeah, very much so.
But we love it. It's the weekend. Enjoy it. Crack open a bevy.
To be fair,
relax.
To be fair, we're in a good mood now. This time tomorrow, we could be in an absolutely awful mood. So again,
but win, lose or draw, Connor, we've still won the league 19 times. 6 Champions Leagues. Certain clubs in the Premier League haven't won a Champions League. And let the rival fans enjoy. We're so ingrained in their minds because we are Liverpool Football Club. Up the Reds. Happy days.
But
and then I continue.
Big thanks to everyone that has tuned in as well. Like I said, please head over to Anfield Road TV. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button as well.
Let's get Con to bloody a K, everyone. Come on, chat.
Hopefully soon we will.
If you can, please do share chat, obviously, before you head off tonight. If you're on Facebook or whatever, just obviously click on the bottom of the video, share it on your Twitter or your YouTube or Facebook or whatnot. Massively helps out.
And get this chance with K. We very much appreciate it as well. That's the end. That's the goal of the season. There's one thing that will come good of the season. Hopefully, we can get to a K.
It's all right. We'll win the 7th Champions League. It's coming back.
4-0 back from Madrid anyway. But until next time, guys, that is going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. See you all tomorrow. Ta-ra.
Bye.